Hello, everyone. It's Deborah Poneman, founder of Yes to Success seminars, where we share knowledge and tools for you to live your ultimate life. And today I'm going to take a risk and go a little woo woo on you. I am a little woo woo. Actually, I'm a lot woo woo. But up until now, I've kept my messages more or less conservative until today, because I want to share a little about what's happening in the um, unseen realms on our planet today. The bottom line is that we are becoming new humans in a lot of ways, but there is a tremendous amount of light pouring on the earth at this time from higher dimensions. And although I know it might not seem like it, but this light, along with the light that's emanating from the earth itself, is changing our actual cellular structure. And this is so we can become receivers of knowledge and transmitters of light. And this is a way that we could serve the planet in the greatest way possible because we are light workers. And whether or not you think of yourself as a light worker, you are, or you wouldn't be listening to this. And you and I are receiving more of this light as it's coming in. And as it comes in, it moves throughout our physical bodies and also the body of Mother Earth. And that's why we have a lot of purification going on. So it's stimulating the release of old imprints. And just as Mother Earth is experiencing upheavals as she releases and purifies out old energies, you may be experiencing discomfort and physical pain, even mysterious ailments. Like the most common seem to be headaches, shoulder and neck pain, back pain. Some people are experiencing ringing in their ear, vertigo, maybe nausea. Well, what's happening is that your body is becoming more and more refined, more and more filled with light. You might not notice it, but as you become more aligned with that very high vibration that's pouring onto the earth, anything that does not vibrate at a high level will be purified out, including the impurities in your body. So you'll probably also find that you'll spontaneously become more attracted to what does vibrate at a higher and more pure level. You might already be noticing that old habits that are not high vibration are falling away. For example, many of you are spontaneously losing your appetite for red meat. It's not a judgment thing, like killing an animal to eat it isn't bad. In fact, I know some great spiritual teachers who say it's better to eat organic grass-fed beef than it is to eat genetically modified vegetables or grains. But maybe the flesh of an animal just no longer appeals to you. Now, sometimes this purification can be uncomfortable, especially if you resist what your body is telling you. What you could get away with even a year ago, like eating like large amounts of refined sugar or chemical laden diet colas, you probably can't get away with this now. You have some uncomfortable consequences like headaches or mental dullness. And the longer you resist the modifications you know you need to be making, you'll probably notice the more severe the consequences. You're probably also finding your life moving at a quickened pace these days, and you may feel, even though we are, it seems like our lives have slowed down, right? We shelter in place, but for some reason, it also feels like they're speeding up. So you might feel ungrounded, or you might have a feeling of subtle anxiety, or just this underlying sense of malaise. You might also feel more easily affected by other people's energy fields. If someone is having a heated argument in the next apartment, even if you can't hear it, you might find it difficult to fall asleep. Or if you're working, you might find it hard to concentrate, or you become inexplicably angry because you're picking up on the energy in your environment. Now, if you've been nodding your head like, yes, that is totally what's been going on with me, I am so with you, I'm now going to share some things that you might be able to do to counteract what's going on so you feel more grounded and more connected to the earth. Grounding, by the way, means being connected to the energy of Mother Earth. You've heard that term thrown around, like some people sleep on grounding mats, or I even have a grounding pillowcase that my daughter gave to me. So it draws the calming energies of the earth into our bodies so that we're living in balance with the living ecosystem and the energies around us. So the simplest thing you can do, well, I guess the simplest thing would be to buy a grounding mat, which actually my former husband gave to me. But another thing that you could do is to actually go outside and ground yourself. Find a grassy place and make sure that there aren't a lot of chemicals on the grass, and slip off your shoes and walk, feeling the earth beneath your feet. You'll be amazed at how quickly this will ground you. I recommend, if you can, to do it every day, or if you like gardening, working with the soil is another powerful way to ground yourself. But if you're on the 15th floor of your apartment building, or you live in Chicago in the middle of winter, a great grounding tool is to simply close your eyes, put your attention on the root chakra, and you can do this whenever you feel ungrounded, where you're feeling scattered or that anxiety. Just put your attention on the base of your spine, which is your root chakra. And every one of the chakras has a sound associated with it. And the sound of the root chakra is lum. It rhymes with gum. Lum. So you could just put your attention on your root chakra and drop the last sound, the The root chakra is the energy center that connects us to Mother Earth. So I recommend that you do this grounding with your feet firmly on the floor. You could do this, again, even if you live on the 100th floor of a high rise in New York, you could do it and it will ground you. Do it for 1 to 5 minutes and you will be amazed at the difference that you feel. Also, you could use that grounding mantra when you're out walking barefoot. Just, you could repeat it mentally. Physical exercise is another way to feel grounded at this time. It's also important, obviously, for strengthening our physical bodies. But it's very important to use physical exercise to feel in flow with this influx of energies on our planets. And it's also good to vary the exercise so you get all of the stuck energy in your body moving. In other words, one day do some aerobic activity, one day do strength, one day do exercises for flexibility. Of course, yoga is ideal to keep the flow of energy moving, and deep breathing. Deep breathing is also essential at this time, maybe even more than yoga. It brings light and prana. Prana is the Sanskrit word for vital life force. It brings prana into the body. Personally, I took a course through the Art of Living Foundation, artofliving.org. And you learn a specific sequence of breathing techniques that bring prana into different parts of your physiology, enliven every cell, and it is incredibly grounding. Very strongly recommend that. And let's talk about diet. As I mentioned, you'll probably find that your dietary habits will just adjust themselves spontaneously, especially since you're also working on the emotional, spiritual level to raise your vibration. But for now, you need to understand that since your body is alive, you need to feed it live food, okay? If we want the body to be vibrating with radiance, then you need to feed it foods that are vibrating with radiance, because we are very literally what we eat. So every cell in our body is built by the food we give it. And not only our physical bodies, but also our subtle bodies, like our emotional body and our spiritual body, they are all a reflection of what we eat. So the kinds of food we eat affect our ability to open to the light, to become the light, and to, of course, transmit the light. So, here's a question for you. If you want to be a clear channel to receive divine guidance, to receive messages from the Creator, or to be a vessel for light to flow through, intuitively, when do you think your body will be more conducive to being a receiver of light? After you have a big juicy steak and a couple beers and a pile of, fried onion rings, or after you've had a few glasses of freshly squeezed organic vegetable juice just pulsating with light? Check in your own body and you be the judge. And after you eat something, are you clear? Are you connected? You just, I mean, I don't have to tell you, you could just ask yourself, do you feel radiant and full of life, or is your mind dull and your emotions off and you feel uncomfortable in your body? Your intuition is your best guide. And here are just a few simple guidelines. I'll tell you what I choose myself. Eat lower on the food chain. Eating lower means more vegetables, more fruits, more whole grains, healthy oils and fats. Personally, I do eat a modified vegetarian diet. Once in a while, I will eat some fish and some eggs, and eat organic whenever possible. If you're not eating organic, you are in fact slowly poisoning yourself by consuming foods laden with toxic pesticides and fertilizers and fungicides and preservatives and flavor enhancers and colorants and 1,000,001 chemicals, including chlorine bleach. Also ask yourself, is it fresh? Or has it been processed or frozen? Has it been sitting on the shelf for months or even years in a box or a can? So you'll want to eat, like I say, fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts, um, fresh grains. Again, even fresh fish or eggs are preferable to anything that is chemical laden or aged. Let's make it say it nicely, but really anything that is aged like in a can on your grocery store shelf for 3 years. Anyway, you'd be amazed at what is filled with chemicals that we shouldn't even consider eating. Believe it or not, even white sugar, white sugar, people think it's the sugar itself that causes you to feel so uncomfortable after it's consumed, but the chemicals in it, I mean, do you know that it's bleached and it's preserved and it sits in these vast storage bins for sometimes years before it arrives at the candy factory to be made into your chocolate bar? And of course, avoid anything that's genetically modified. That is a whole subject unto itself. And today genetically modified ingredients, or I should say, about 90% of all processed foods and grains and soy and corn in America are genetically modified. So look for the non-GMO label. Anyway, we have entered a time when our helpers in unseen realms will be communicating with us more and more. We need to work in conjunction with them. The higher the frequency at which we vibrate, the purer the messages will be. There are so many other things we could do to help transform our body into light, but we just want to be vigilant that we're doing them: fasting, cleansing, massage, Reiki. So many amazing light workers and healers on the planet right now. They've incarnated to help us on our journeys. They can help us to clear the blocks and the impressions that we could eventually clear ourselves, but why not use all the help we can get? So the transformation into light will be gradual. Our bodies are transitioning to bodies of light. And just as our planet is transitioning into a planet of light, that is an optional, but the ease with which it happens, that depends on how much you choose to take personal responsibility to partner with the light. So that is my unique message for this week. Have fun with it, and I send you my love.